Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. We've got another action figure review for you today, and we're going to take a look at the Commander Bly from the Black Series line, recently made available again, and I'm so glad it was. It is an awesome looking clone Commander, and I'm so glad I got my hands on it. So as always, if you're new here, do subscribe to the channel, and I'd really appreciate that, and leave a like if you enjoy the video too. That really helps me out. So we're going to jump into it. As always, we're going to jump into it by starting with what comes in the box. So, Clone Commander Bly comes with his two pistols there that are in the holsters, and the heavy clone blaster rifle. As you can see, just the regular printed in black, just the mould work, just a singular tone, just printed in that black. I've got that in his hands there, and then you've got his blaster pistol, so I'll pop that down there for a second. You can see that just like Echo or Rex or any of the other clones with the kind of ARC Trooper clone pistols, they have these printed holsters attached to the belt, which these slide into very snugly, which is very nice. Comes in and out nice and easy, but won't fall out. And then you've got obviously that pistol that looks fantastic, the iconic ARC Trooper pistols that currently we're seeing a lot of use of in the Bad Batch. But in terms of what comes in the box, that's all you're going to get in terms of accessories. You're going to get the two pistols and a blaster, a large blaster rifle. And then the rest of this stuff is coming on Clone Commander Bly as standard. You've got the ARC Trooper kind of kiltish skirt thing. You've got the special pauldrons. You've got some different attachments and things like that on his armor. And as you can see, he looks absolutely awesome. He's a fantastic looking Clone Commander, and just clone in general. As a character, it's not one that I'd ever really paid much attention to, and I'd kind of slept on not thinking much of it, and I'm so glad I got my hands on him, because he is one of the best looking clones I think in the Black Series line, and I'm so glad I picked him up, and we'll move on to that in a while. But in terms of the design, obviously Bly was featured in the Clone Wars and things like that, and that era, of course. In terms of, are we going to see any more of him? I'm not sure. I'm sure that there is possibly on the cards, because of obviously the Bad Batch at the moment and that era, and things of that nature. But you never know what the next project's going to be and what era that brings into question. But in terms of the design, I think they've nailed the look. The designs, all of the accessories, the paint scheme looks fantastic. I like the weathered look of the paint, that it's not perfect. I like the kind of brown camo-ish look on the shoulder pauldrons. His helmet looks fantastic. He's got the removable or kind of adjustable visor that comes up, and he's got his Phase 2 helmet, which up close, the paint scheme, look at the discoloration and the kind of weathering, the paint chipping on his helmet. It looks so cool. Looks absolutely awesome, fantastic. And then that goes throughout the figure, really. I mean, obviously you have, being a clone, you have the white and black, but you do have the brown, that he has customized himself on his armor. That runs throughout, and as you can see, you kind of see the weathering of that naturally. You've got the accessories here coming up to the shoulder pauldrons. You've got the accessories on the belt. You've got the holsters. The belt buckle in the middle, the different colour of, I love the yellow they've used. The yellow and the brown here in the thighs looks fantastic. It really complements each other. But you can see even down here, like, the paint applications are actually fantastic on this figure, and obviously soft goods on this cape, or this kind of skirt thing here, like a kind of kilt, half kilt. So yeah, that looks awesome. In terms of the design, I think that they have transferred the look of the character down to the action figure scale of 1/12, 6-inch scale, immaculately. It's perfect. In terms of the actual real life application, the paint application on mine and the design, the printing, is fantastic. It's it's so awesome. I would say the only part that is not absolutely 100% is just here, and even though that's minuscule when you think about it. He looks absolutely awesome. I think they've done an immaculate job. When you look at the character, you think, okay, like this is a cool clone, and I'm looking forward to using him in my toy photography. But equally, I mean, look, just standing here, you can see the presence that he has, just his look. He looks badass. So from a display point of view, he'll definitely he'll definitely have some presence, and the posability is there, and he looks dynamic. For me, toy photography wise, I can't wait to do some clone squad shots. I've got a load of clones at the moment, the commanders, and I'm looking forward to doing a kind of series of shots and going out on adventures and in different locations and trying to do some kind of different shots as if they're on a journey together. Clone Commander Bly is a fantastic addition to that group, and I'm very glad I picked him up. I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do possibility wise with this figure. Moving on to the articulation. Okay, so moving on to articulation. For these clone troopers, depending on what era they're from, I mean the older builds, because this is Clone Commander Gree and Bly and some of the other clones that have just been re-released. They're slightly adjusted just to sort of keep up with modern technology and regulations, but for the most part it's a re-release of the same figure. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a difference in the style of articulation and things like that as compared to the newer build. So this clone body, for example, is not like the new clones. It's very similar, and it's the same in some ways, but not entirely. So if you look at the ground up, again, it's kind of like with the Gree thing is the toe point aspect. You can see here that that's the hard plastic. He will go back. He's got the ability to flex back, but you have to push up against this piece. And on Gree, there's like a gap. On him, there is, on Bly, there is no gap. You can see how if I can get that to focus for you, you can see how that plastic kind of is sealed. It ends there, so it can't go anywhere. So you'd have to force this piece up under that joint, and I don't see that going well. A fantastic toe point when it comes to going up, though, and this is indicative of the older clones, and that's what's happening there. In terms of the knee and at the leg, you've got, if I can get that to focus for you, you've got double joints, so he has got very good articulation. The knee pads, again, it's the knee pad that covers the joint. So instead of the knee pad on the new clones that comes above the knee, doesn't actually cover the knee. This one, although the knee pad looks fantastic, it's a great design, the way it's done is it obviously it does get, because it's quite thick in the back there, it does get caught. Can't go any further than that, but having the double joint is a good addition either way, and you can kind of tell going through the build of this figure that it is the older style of clones, let's say that. Moving up to the hips, you have that kind of leg can come up in the front. Excuse me, my hay fever is absolutely killing me today. So you can get to 90, and it's got that slight rotation that we see with the clones. And when it comes to split, it's a fair split. It's not fantastic, but it's decent, and he will rotate the leg backwards as well. So that that ball that allows you to pivot rather than just go up and down or left and right. So you can twist that. The plastic is kind of flexible on the holsters, and you can kind of see in here, if I can get that to focus, you can kind of see that it's attached in here, and it does kind of hinder, but it will move up with his legs, so not too bad. In terms of the torso, the bottom torso is set, the belt is loose, so it can move and slide where it needs to, but the the crunch is really good when you consider that the torso. He's got a good crunch. He's got a good wiggle side to side. The belt obviously does stop some of that, but he's got a good rotation in the abs and in the waist. In terms of the arms, Commander Bly's arms are actually some of the best on a figure I've seen, let alone a clone. But so if you look at the hands, they do rotate 360. They do have that ability to turn in, so you can see that he has that ability to kind of rotate that wrist, which not a lot of figures do. Then he's got the double joints at the elbow, but unlike some of the other figures, like he will get to 90 here on his left arm, and you can kind of see that there's like a bit of a gap there, and he will go even further. So that's a really good bicep curl. And when you add the curl of the hand, that's probably the best bicep curl I've seen in a Black Series figure to date. So that's very, very good. In terms of the bicep as well, just like Cody and the older clones and the older stormtroopers, it does have a bicep swivel, which is good, so he can get that kind of flex up to the side. This shoulder pauldron of the kind of ARC Trooper pauldron, like again looking at the paint scheme there, it looks so cool. It looks so good on the contrast with the kind of goldish yellow. But he's just, look at that, he's just such an awesome looking figure, and such an awesome design for a character. I love that helmet. But because this is kind of like a hard rubber, it does flex a little bit. And again, this pauldron, this is the older pauldron for the clone armor on the shoulder, so like this is like a harder plastic. He will get up to 90, like you just have to find, slowly find the groove, and he'll get up to 90 nice and easy. And then, like I say, you've got the bicep swivel, he can get up there, which that's fantastic. He could hold something on his shoulder, he could use a a kind of rocket launcher or something like that. So in terms of the arms, this is some of the best articulation I've seen. Again, with the hand, you can kind of see it, as I sort of showed earlier. It's got nice flex in the fingers, so there's not much of a fight. It's one of the older builds. But when you put the blaster rifle in, you can rotate the wrist back, and he can kind of rest that blaster right there, which, as articulation goes, there aren't many figures in general that can give you that kind of articulation, so that's fantastic. So the fact that he's able to hold this rifle that is famous for being unbelievably long in comparison to the height of a clone trooper, he's able to wield that really well and really naturally, so it's really nice. And that's part of the thing I was mentioning about the action figure photography aspect, and me going out on location and doing these clone squad kind of projects, and these shots of them just kicking asses. He's going to look like the badass that he looks like right here and right now. So moving on to the helmet and the head, there's no tilt side to side. It's much like the Gree helmet. There's a slight bit of tilt forward and back, probably actually a bit more with Bly than there is with Gree. You've got the visor that does come up and go up above the head, or the helmet rather, and it does just rotate on these balls and sockets, so it will come forward and down for any shots, or just sit up there where it normally does. I'm sure you can pop those out as well, but I'm going to leave mine there. In terms of the head though, like the helmet, like I say, with these older builds of the clones, you can see how the neck is right there. It's not it's not the kind of ball and socket where there's ability for it to kind of rotate. It will only go 360 that goes side to side. Bly though has a really good kind of waist pivot. You can kind of see that the little attachment here for his kind of like pouches just goes into this little piece here. So that's good, because it means that it's not set, it's not restricting movement. It will come out, so you can kind of adjust that and move that in a way where you can get them into position, and then you can put it back where it came from. In terms of the like I say, the articulation, decent articulation in the legs, because he's got that pivot, he can turn, so it kind of makes, it's like with Plo Koon, kind of makes up for some of the lack of articulation in the head. But you know, I mean, when it comes to posability and you know, presence, Commander Bly's definitely got it. He's an awesome looking character. I love the design. I think that Hasbro have nailed the, you know, the transfer from character on screen to, you know, action figure to this scale. And like I say, the paint applications on mine, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's an awesome looking figure. Very versatile when you think about he's a clone and he's a specialist clone, so you can put him in all sorts of things and be creative. I know that I will be myself, and I look forward to sharing my my trips and photography projects on location and stuff like that on the channel, and sort of vlogging those and documenting the process and just showing you all these cool places I plan to go at some point. Yeah, we'll show where we can go with that, and I'll be interested to see you know, with some of the characters, but like Bly is definitely, you know, one of the characters that I'd like to do some stuff with, you know, out in the woods, or you know, out in places like the south of Wales, where I really want to go again, because that was, you know, it had some beautiful countryside and natural habitats to shoot in, and I can just picture it now, so I'm looking forward to it. In terms of versatility, like I said, fantastic. Presence is all there, whether you want him to be dynamic. Articulation wise, he's got enough. He's well articulated for a trooper. You know, he's a soldier. He's going to get in the nitty gritty, so you don't need to worry about that. He's not got the kind of articulation maybe of some of the Jedi or something like that, but you know, it's more than enough, and it's, you know, he'll make a very good subject for your photography shots, or you know, as a display piece in the collection. But I definitely think that he's worth a pickup now. Again, a lot of the things being re-released, you know, they'll only be around for a while, so overall I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I think he's an awesome looking character. He when I got him in hand and he came out of the box, I was like, damn, he looks damn good. He looks better than I thought he did. He looks better than the stock images actually excuse me, the stock images actually would you know, allow you to believe. So definitely worth a pickup. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope as ever it was informative. If you're new to the channel, as I've mentioned, do leave a like on the video if you enjoy it, and do subscribe to the taaaylorPOP channel if you enjoy it. It does really help me out. So I'm going to leave you with that one. As always, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.